what we're up against are bacteria, viruses, funguses that they're living organisms. They have the ability to sense the antibiotics that are coming at them, and they have a very, very sophisticated repertoire of ways to defeat antibiotics, which is why we're in the situation today. And what has happened in antibiotics is people got a little complacent. Companies said, let's move on and look at other things. The economics of antibiotics, because they're relatively short treatment courses, there are a lot of generics available, has basically dried up the pipeline.
The model we use to pay for every other kind of molecule in the country is there's one disease, one patient, and one use. Here, it is really a public goods, public health kind of dilemma. And so I think, when we're talking about brainstorming and just getting the dialogue started on the policy front, it's getting people to realize that it can't be a one-size-fits-all model going forward, right? That the model for every other development, reimbursement, utilization at the bedside, even possibly approval and development, isn't the right model, right? And so, we just need to get people to be aware of that, because otherwise I'm going to be absent the choices I need at the bedside.
The fix to the system actually has to be systemic, so that there is a continued economic model for companies to pour money into R&D and find it as attractive as any other therapeutic area.
When a new product gets approved, it doesn't necessarily get to where we intended it to go to. It doesn't always get to the patient in the right time frame. I think everybody in the space has the same mantra. It's the right drug for the right patient at the right time. And there are lots of reasons why that may not necessarily happen.
I'm an infectious disease physician. When I was in training, all I did was go around to tell physicians, you shouldn't be using that antibiotic. Okay, so I have no problem saying use less antibiotics, but it's like Ciara said, which is the right drug for the right patient at the right time. And that's not in conflict with the need for a well-stocked pipeline.
Both Ciara and I are developing antifungals. Our lead programs are to treat fungal sepsis. This is a disease that kills about 67,500 patients in the U.S. alone. And these aren't patients that are hospitalized because of that infection. They're hospitalized for other things. They're hospitalized because they've gotten a bone marrow transplant or they're undergoing cancer treatment. They're patients into whom enormous healthcare resources have been poured. And so it's a shame not only from a personal perspective, but from a financial perspective to lose these patients at the goal line because of that infection. But you never hear about that, right? They died because of a transplant that didn't work or because they got cancer. You never really hear about the fact that they have died actually because of a fungal infection. And it's really a tough area. The last company that was developing a drug for fungal sepsis took 9 years to enroll their phase 3 trial, and that drug failed. So that is not a recipe to attract more companies into this area. And so you can appreciate why there is a real need for not only these push incentives such as the GAIN Act and LPAD, but also for pull incentives to attract and keep companies developing new drugs because of the moving target.